Hello and welcome again to Jaded Law Channel. This remains that law-based channel where your legal needs are met, where your questions are answered, and of course your issues are adequately resolved. Again, I remain your host, Mrs. Omonugo Ogbe. I want to thank you so much for your comments. I want to thank you also for the questions. And so today we'll be dealing with one of the questions that was asked. And the question is to the effect as to what happens where a testator acquires a property after preparing the will. And of course, he would want that property to be inherited by a beneficiary. Does he have to prepare a fresh will? What does he do? Okay, so that's the question we'll be answering today. And so the answer simply is that once a testator has prepared his will, he does not need to keep preparing fresh wills. In law, there's what we call a codicil. So, a codicil is a document by which a testator can modify, can revoke, can add, can subtract whatever had been stated in the will. So, he does not now need to prepare a fresh will. So if taking the example, for instance, of a testator who already had prepared a will and then he purchases other properties and he now wants to, of course, name the beneficiaries of those properties in the event of his death. In that document, which is called a codicil, he would now state therein that after preparing the will, he acquired XYZ property and he would want XYZ property to now be given to A, B, or C, D, naming the person, the beneficiary that he wants to inherit that property. Okay, so that's what a codicil does. Sometimes the testator may even discover that one of the beneficiaries, maybe a child, begins to misbehave and the testator says, oh, I do not want that child to inherit that property as stated in the will. What does he do? Through the codicil, he would now state, in the will, I left my property at Banana Island or wherever to my son, Jide. But right now, I do not want Jide to inherit that property. That property now should belong to Stella. Okay, so with the codicil, he's able to modify, he's able to add, he's able to subtract, he's able to do a lot more without altering, as it were, making alterations. When I say alterations, I'm sure you know what I mean, because this document actually alters, but without touching on the main document, which is the will. Okay, I'm sure I've been able to answer that question. Now, I just wish to add, and this is very important, that just the same way that a will is executed, okay, that's the same way a codicil is equally executed. What do I mean by this? I mean that the testator also must sign a codicil in the presence of two witnesses, and these two witnesses must be present at the same time that the testator signs the codicil. And in the same manner, the two witnesses also must sign the codicil in the presence of the testator. It is very, very important that this point is clarified. So that you are not in doubt as to how the codicil is executed. All right, so that's basically it. The testator is at liberty to do whatever he chooses to do, whatever she wants to do with her property, and the codicil is the answer for those alterations, those additions, and everything. If it's also very possible that the testator may even sell one of the property that had already been given to a beneficiary, and so in the codicil it would so indicate that this property was sold, property that was earlier stated to be for XYZ was sold, and it would state whatever he wants to be done. Okay, so that's pretty much it for a codicil, and I'm sure I've answered that question for you. I'm sure you've learned something today. Again, ignorance of the law is no excuse. I would urge you, as at other times, to subscribe to this channel. We really do have tons of good content for you, and please keep those comments, keep those questions coming in. It really helps us to engage, and so we're able to answer the questions in your minds, and this means a lot to us. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much. Do not forget to click on the notification icon so that you will not miss out on any of our videos. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye.